Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another show. My name is Tyler, and I'm here with Matt, the founder of orats, an options analytics platform built on top of over 15 years of historical options data. Our dashboard is integrated with Tradier, meaning you can research and discover trades on our platform and then seamlessly send them through to your Tradier brokerage account. Today on the show, we're going to talk about using technical indicators in the options backtester. Matt, do you want to share your screen and get us started by going over our current positions?
Sure. So we have an IWM long straddle, and I want to start here because I was seeing when we should exit it. We have a profit, and I was looking at for the back test for similar strategies where it's been most profitable to exit. So there's stop losses, nothing, 300% profit, 300% profit, stop loss, 300% profit. So it looks like you got to make a lot of money. So it looks like we'll let it run a bit. If we go to the positions tab again, last week we put on a long strangle in IWM and 387, and we're up a fair amount on it. Like I said, I think we're going to let it go based on that research for the in the back testing. How's that sound, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm fine with letting it go. I think that the backtest finder is a good place to look for those kind of exit signals.
Yep, and it's a good place to go to see how you should manage your similar types of strategies.
Yeah.
Okay. So we also had an iron condor on, and we're doing pretty well on it. It was a little busy last week, but we're doing well on the SPY iron condor.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this week, last week we covered entry and exit signal dates in the legacy backtester, and the legacy backtester, it gets a lot of use, and we get a lot of questions about not just signals but technical indicators. It's one of the few places in orats that has good technical indicators. We're talking moving averages, average true range, Bollinger bands, stuff like that. And it's in the legacy backtester where you can define these as entry and exit triggers. As Matt's pointing out right now, the new backtest finder allows you to search for entry triggers, but only these ones right here. So the VIX, simple moving average of the stock, the 14-day RSI of the stock, and then the IV percentile and slope percentile for 1 year of that stock. So the entry triggers on the backtest finder, again, these are ones that we've already tested. So you don't even have to run the backtest. You can just search it and find it and see the results right there in the table. But if you want something more custom, you can use the legacy backtester by clicking the orange button in the top right.
Yeah, and just to put this to bed, we put a C where it is currently. So the RSI right now is overbought. The SMA is above the 200, above the 50-day, and the VIX is moderate. So, and you could find all the strategies that have just one or a couple of them by clicking various buttons here. So that's a nice kind of overall quick thing to do. The problem with this is as you're running it, it goes up exponentially. So the number of tests, and so we have, we have had to constrain how many of these we could use. But as Tyler was saying, so we also have a legacy backtester. So if you click here, then the legacy backtester pops up. And in the legacy backtester, you can then edit additional parameters, go to entry indicators, and then if you press edit, you could select technical indicators or click it again to use the regular indicators. You can make ratios out of it. So there's a lot of customizability here. And as Tyler was also saying, so it's a little bit confusing. You have to click on that orange on that orange lettering in order to get to the technical indicators. But once you're here, like Tyler was saying, we have a Chaikin oscillator, where you could do a lot of the settings for that, and you could read about those with a search of the internet. Average true range, same thing. You could put your period and your min max. You could even define ratios of these, like a smooth. You could use a simple moving average to the stock price and do some ratio to that. But there are Bollinger bands, so it gets pretty intricate here. And this is a neat way to test out. There's a lot of backtests out there that use technical indicators to choose stock entry and exit, but these are technical indicators to choose option strategies. So we're backtesting the option strategies using these technical indicators. So yeah, here's a simple moving average. We could define it just against the stock price. And you could do some type of a ratio, like it has to be over 1 or something along those lines. And that,
yeah, so this is, a lot of people say, well, I want to backtest that it enters when the simple moving average of the 10-day crosses over the 5-day. How would you set that up in here?
Yeah, so then simple moving average of the 10-day, so it's a 10-day period. It's usually the 5-day divided by the 10-day, so we'll do it that way. And then so then technical indicators, and then SMA again, and this would be the 10-day. So and then the crossover is when it goes over 1, so that's the ratio. And then you could select OK, and then what you do is if you want to get out of it, you enter the same range, but it'll exit when it goes outside of the range. So then you set up the same ratio, the simple moving average of the 5-day divided by the simple moving average of the 10-day, and then you put the same. You could put the same or a little bit less. So the same would be 1 as a minimum. 10 is kind of doesn't really matter. It never gets that. It can't get that high. Or I guess it could, but it normally wouldn't get that high. So, and you could put a little less, so it won't just get out right away. You could put a 0.99. So that could be our entry for this particular SMA divided by SMA indicator. So that's what you were talking about, Tyler, the smooth versus smooth.
Okay. Yeah, and remember this. The backtester, legacy backtester, is end of day, so that it's going to check 14 minutes before the close if that entry or exit trigger has been met.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and again, you could use multiple ones too. So, and then if you go in and edit it, you could go edit this, and you could say, well, I want 1.02. And then I could add another indicator. So I could add, an MACD with a fast period where that's above by 1.
And is this going to trigger when both of these are met at the same time or when either of them are met?
Yeah. So both of them have to be met in order for it to trigger.
Okay.
Oh. So again, and you could use different ones to get in and get out, but you just have to make sure that you're not getting in and getting out the next day. So they have to be somewhat similar, or else you're going to be churning quite a bit. But I mean, I think that's still a pretty powerful indicator, and because some indicators work well for picking stock price movement, like bullish or bearish, but some of these work for picking, like, okay, if it's in this kind of range. If it's in the middle of an average true range, maybe that's the time to put on, an iron condor and on the kind of outside of the Bollinger band. So, whereas if you're on the top of the range, it might not be the best time. Does that make sense, Tyler?
Yeah, it does. We should also mention, if you pull up that pop-up again, there is a symbol field in the if you click edit on the signal. Yeah. You don't, if you just leave it blank, it's gonna trigger on the stock that you're back testing. But a lot of times people want to enter or exit when the VIX is at a certain level, or if you're doing something like that, you can change what that symbol is looking at.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you could do you could do that relationship and to get in or to get out. Yeah. So again, we encourage you to go try it. There's quite a few indicators. Some of them, I don't even know what the exact readings that they're doing, but click on indicators. There's that, like I said, Chaikin oscillator. I don't know what that is. I know what the MACD is. I know what the Bollinger Bands are. The commodity channel I'm a little hazy on, but you could just go do an internet search and these will all come up. And here's RSI. We put in the kind of the typical period for an RSI, but you could change those as well and just set the minimum and maximum. And like I said, we encourage you to go try that out in the Legacy Backtester. It comes with just the regular subscription, Tyler.
Great. Thanks, man.
So I think that what we should do is let's find a trade idea that's based on so all these trade ideas are in the match the current environment, whether it be VIX, the SMAs, the RSIs, or whatever. But let's use it. Let's do, since we're talking about technical indicators, the one technical indicator is the RSI. So here's an RSI overbought, and it likes this IWM put calendar. So let's take a look at this, Tyler.
Yeah, you can also see the backtest results of this trade right in that table.
Yeah, let's do that.
You're curious about.
Yeah. And while we don't have technical indicators built in here, I mean, there are plenty of services across the internet that have RSI readings and such that you could go see. But so here are the points when you can see it's kind of chunky here, meaning it's not consistently getting into trades because RSI is overbought only at a certain amount of the time. It's a 32-day, 18-day calendar. So the trade log. So let's just see if this is 2023. So that usually means it hasn't been overbought in 2024 yet. And it hasn't made a trade in 2024. Well, I guess that's when we stopped. Not all trades, not all backtests have updated all the way, but you could see that what I'm looking at is it's January. It starts to trade. So January, and then February it's still trading, and then there's a big gap until June. So what that means for IWM is that in that time from February, which is until June, where are we now? It wasn't overbought, so the market was kind of going sideways.
Yeah.
So that's it only trades when the RSI is overbought, Tyler.
Yeah, that's nice to see the graph. One thing I like to do where it says % of starting capital to be used on each trade, I like to sort of match that up roughly with the graph so that I can kind of see, in relation to the stock, where am I winning, where am I losing, based on how much I'm investing into the strategy. So
right.
This particular one would invest 100% of the starting capital that we started with the stock. So if the stock, we start investing $100,000 and just wait, that's the blue line. The orange line is investing $100,000 in each long put calendar, which it's, probably not practical, but it's a good way to see the returns lining up.
Right. It's just how much you're investing in the stock versus how much you invest in the strategy itself. So I don't know. I think this looks like a good one, Tyler. Shall we go ahead and scan for options?
Yeah, I mean, we can do scan for options. The trade ideas already does that for us. So it's, looks at all those back tests and then it automatically scans for options and presents the best one in the trade idea. So the top one you're seeing there is most likely going to be the same one in the trade ideas. Yeah.
And so anyway, let's just go from here. So we'll do the 30, 20, so 10 days. So there is some risk since we're selling, there's $600 of difference in strikes here. and we're getting 3, so it's 597 of risk, max loss. 576 it's saying now, 2 cents. So yeah, so there is some risk here, but again, the probability of making a profit here is 95.5. So that's a pretty good risk reward. I say we take a look at it, Tyler. And I think also as it goes down, volatility will be going up. So you could see that in that max loss, you're gonna be cushioned as it goes down there.
So this is a long Vega trade. It's got a positive Vega on it.
Yeah, it's positive Vega. I don't know why it says negative Vega. Oh, right here. But as it gets down here, it's gonna get positive.
Okay.
Positive Vega down here. Right now, it's not because of the differential, but down here,
that's gonna be. That's interesting to see that chart. You know, you don't really see that everywhere, right? Like how the Greeks are going to change as the stock price changes.
Yeah, because as we get down towards these strikes, this is going to be a lot bigger Vega than the short Vega. Now it's pretty even. All right, so why don't we get in? We'll give them a couple cents here, and we'll force it. And I'll take a picture of it like I like to do. And review the order. All right. So another IWM there, Tyler.
Out of curiosity, do you want to pull that up in the trade history and see where that trade's been?
Sure. So the trade history shows where it's been over, various time periods. You could say 2 days, or we'll just go for 2 weeks. So the stock price is down here. So the stock price, has been going up in IWM, and this particular strategy has been going up as well. So it was when it was closer to the money, it was a credit of about a dollar that you could have sold this for, and you would have made money holding it. But as the stock has rallied, as we saw kind of in the graph, but as stock has rallied, the price of the relationship has equaled out a bit. So now, the bids it's about 60 cents, but when it was more closer to the money or near the money, that 201 strike, was a lot more valuable. But now it's pretty much out of the money. So that's how that's a good point, Tyler. You want to see how your strategy that you're getting into has performed historically.
Yeah, it's interesting to see this strategy has been making money over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, because basically if you would have gotten into it earlier, you would have gotten a decent credit, and then just like selling a put, but you have protection because you have a long put to go with it.
So we're hoping this sort of flips into a debit.
Yeah, I mean, the way that's going to happen is if it does go back down and approaches the 201 without going below it, then the September 20 will expire worthless, and then the September 30 will expire, with still some time left, as we're kind of seeing here.
Right. Did we run entry and exit triggers on IWM? I'm curious if there's stop losses, profit targets for strategies similar to this.
Yeah, IWM is one of the ones in the Finder.
So what we could do is we could pull up, go back to the trade ideas and pull up that back test that we, and then we could look at find similar. We could find similar ones that, we could uncheck entry and exit triggers, right? And then kind of compare.
Oh, you said go there.
So what we're doing here is just trying to find if this backtest or a similar backtest had a pattern in stop losses or profit targets that ended well for the backtest.
Right. So you would say find similar, and then you would uncheck the exit triggers, right? Or the entry triggers too.
I mean, it depends how much you want to look at. I mean, entry triggers, you're only going to see this one backtest. You're probably going to have to uncheck those. So
this one had a 300% profit target. Again, if we select none here, right?
Yeah, and just we're just looking at strategies with similar days to expiration and strike deltas and spread yield. What's common? What are the common attributes?
Yeah, and it's usually in these, as we've kind of found, that in calendars you don't want to exit too early. You want to give it room to go, and if you're exiting it, you're going to go for like a 300% or 150% profit target.
I mean, the data is right there. It's the very top result is no exit.
Yeah, or a big. So we're just going to let this go, Tyler.
Okay.
Yeah. A little shorter video today, but I think important one that, like I said, a lot of people like to use technical indicators, and we offer a service where you can use technical indicators with strategies, with backtested strategies, so you can see how they perform with your favorite technical indicators, Tyler.
Yeah, thanks for showing that, Matt. A lot of power in the legacy backtester. We're trying to show all the power of that. There's so many technical indicators and so many ORATs proprietary indicators that you can use in there as well.
Yeah, and we should also mention that you can create your own technical indicators and paste in your entry and exit signals. Like you just enter a date, entry date, and exit date. You could do it for multiple symbols. So if you have your own type of technical indicator that you don't see, you could always go and calculate it. And if it's in a program, you could create a CSV like this and upload it quite easily. I do this quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat way to do it. And we're working on some signal stuff right now, hopefully, so we can share that with you guys soon.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Matt, and thank you guys for watching another show. We'll be back again next week. If you guys have any questions about our data or the tools, if you're a subscriber, you can leave your comments on our community tab. We'll get back to you there. Everyone else can see them. It's a great way to share information, share knowledge, learn from other traders. If you want to reach out, you can always email us at support@orats.com. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you, Matt and Trader for hosting. We'll be back next week.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.